Hey guys, Ken Smith Fishing. Sam Rayburn Report. Stick around. Welcome to another Sam Rayburn Report. So I normally try to post twice a week, but truthfully right now we're sequestered here at the lake. I'm working, a day or two here and there, and I got a fair amount of free time because normally my day is spent seeing my advisors, and I can't do that right now. So I'm going to post a little more. I'll probably be posting 3, maybe even 4 times a week. I hope you guys enjoy them. Some of them are a little bit shorter. Just to kind of give you a sense of what's going on at Rayburn right now, we'll first start with kind of the lake conditions. So the lake was a week ago 164.80, which is 4/10 of a foot, a little bit less than half a foot high. The lake rose all the way through the 26th, and it's kind of leveled off and just come down a very, very tiny bit. It's 165.29. So that puts it 8/10, so 164.4 is pool, so put it to 8/9 above pool, so almost a foot up. It's rained off and on in Zavala. I'm recording this on Saturday. It's rained off and on here most of the day today, but not a lot. I know there was that storm came through and it dumped some water up from us, so kind of in our floodplain. So I don't think the lake's going to come up a bunch more, but I think you'll certainly see it stop dropping. And then I think we have some more rain coming here in the next few days. So this is footage from, again, this week. I'm posting kind of as I can get to the editing because I got so much footage. And what I did is I went north. I went up and just started fishing some of the dirtier water and started flipping around a little bit. And I didn't have a ton of bites. There's just not fish everywhere. By the way, the water temp, I mentioned it once here, but as I kind of followed it through the day, the water temp is, I'm going to say 74 to the warmest I saw was 79.8, almost 80 degrees. Couple things that strike me as odd though. The carp are shallow, see a lot of carp up shallow. I've really only seen one fish, and I think I talk about it in this video, that looked like it was defending a nest. I have not yet seen a ball of fry anywhere, which really surprises me. Those frog fish I caught earlier in the week, one of them was obviously a post-spawn fish. But you're going to see in my video after this when I catch a whole bunch of fish on a crankbait, and they are not post-spawn fish. They're just little fat males out there just gorging right now. By the way, I did hear earlier in the week that there was a shad spawn going on the north end of the lake, and actually the day you're going to see today, I went up to some of my best frog areas and fished around a bunch of cypress trees and did not have a bite on a frog. So if there's a shad spawn going on the north end of the lake, I haven't found it yet. Now I'm going to keep looking for those birds, looking for those shad flicking around. If you don't know what a shad spawn is, it's when the shad spawn, and it normally only occurs for the first 30 minutes to an hour of daylight in the morning when they're really up shallow on top of grass or up on top of other stuff that they spawn on. And when they do that, the bass go crazy. It's a whack fest normally. I talked to a guy at the boat ramp. We all know how boat ramp conversations go, who said, oh, yeah, man, I caught the crap out of them on a frog, and I didn't. So it may be happening somewhere, but it's certainly not happening everywhere. And the lake's fishing a little bit tough. I got some flipping bites, and you're going to see I caught one really nice fish flipping, but not just a ton of bites flipping yet. But we'll figure it out as the week progresses. Next week, we've got to run back to Dallas for a couple days and take care of some stuff. We got to get some dog medicine and some more dog food and just all the other stuff you got to get that you can't get down here. But I'll be back out next week, hopefully fishing, assuming we're allowed to do that and we can all stay healthy. And let's go check out some fishing, and I think you'll enjoy this. I got one great slow-mo jump of a 5+ pound fish. I think you'll enjoy it. Here we go, guys. All right, I don't think y'all can see any of what just happened, but I could literally see about a 3-pounder back in the bushes chasing a big old brim, and it was on top of the water, and it was pretty wild. I watched the whole thing happen, and I made a mistake there. I had Here in this water's pretty off color, so I decided that I wanted to flip cord. Well, I had 2 rods with cord on in the boat. My rod I've been frog fishing with, which has good 50-pound seaguar. And then I had tied on a rivet rod last night, which was some very, very, very old, I hate to admit, shoot, I can't think of what it's called, but power, whatever that braid was called. I mean, I bet I've had that braid for 8 or 10 years. And while all that was going on, I looked up and one was running off with my bait. And I set the hook, broke him clean smooth off on that 30-pound seaguar, and it almost looked like it cut the line, but I don't believe that was anything but a largemouth bass. But lesson learned, when you get back in this stuff, and if you can get away with flipping that braid, you might as well flip it. I still got my 25-pound seaguar tied on. I guess I could flip that, but I really wanted to kind of flip braid around back here. So my frog's coming off and big boy braid's going on. That one fooled me a little bit. On a great big piece of buckbrush. I flipped in there and I thought I was kind of hung over the top of the buckbrush, and I wasn't. I was hung in that fish. By the way, so let's talk about that. So we had this conversation in a text message the other day. That is what I call buckbrush. And those are good ones. Those are big, gnarly ones. And I said the other day, the bigger the better. And that's big, giant, pretty buckbrush right there. Water temp back here is 79.8. It's warmed up that much. Of course, it's a beautiful sunny day. Yesterday was pretty and sunny too. And fish are up here munching. On the prawn, I did downsize my weight a little bit. You see my forearm was killing me, so I dropped down to a 5/8 ounce. It still will fall through that stuff good. Something else we talked about the other day, just to reiterate what I'm doing. Okay, so we talked about this in a video the other day, and I didn't have good examples to show you. So there's really kind of 4 predominant types of trees that grow around Rayburn. There's obviously, that's a willow tree. That's a big, giant, beautiful willow tree. We talked about buckbrush. I showed you what that looks like earlier. That's buckbrush right there again. And then there's that thing called the water elm. So that is a water elm. I've only had one bite out of one of those this week, and that was a frog bite that I missed. Oh boy, look at the size of that old dead tree right there. That's a giant. And then of course, oh, Mr. Gar, someone along there. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. You have cypress trees, and there's a cypress tree in the distance over there. I'll zoom in on that a little bit. But that's the 4. There's another big, pretty cypress tree right there. That's kind of the 4 predominant types of cover. Of course, cypress trees also have what are called knees around them, which are really their root system that grow back up in humps. And you know, historically speaking, in my mind, fish move to the buckbrush first, then they move to the willows, or if there's cypress trees in there, they'll move to the cypress trees. To me, that is a really high water, that water elm, that's a high water bush, or it's also a really good post spawn bush, as are willow bushes again. So that was a bush right there under the boat. This bush was right under the boat, and I just thought, well, that's a good looking bush, and flipped it as I went by. And he ranked it. Whoop. Fun stuff. Gotten to the point sitting around the house where I can't hardly watch the news.
Scary, scary times. Scary times. So it's a good time to sit at the house and watch a little bit of fishing if you're not where you can get out and be by yourself. Fortunately, we've got a place down here where we can be isolated and still get out and show you guys some fishing. Oh, that's a nice one right there. Come here, big mama. Oh, look out. Oh, that's a dandy, boys and girls. Stuck right where you want it, right in the top of the noggin. Buckbrush. That's a solid 5. Really, really stuck good too. Look at her tail. She is definitely pre-spawn or up there bench spawning. What a beautiful, beautiful fish. Thank you, darling. That was too much fun. Go back down there and make babies so I can come back next year and catch them with Hollis. Okay, next year might be a little early for Hollis to be catching them, but 2 years. 2 years. Whoo, that was a good one. Big old chubby, healthy fish. Those two fish were maybe 15 feet apart just on this little secondary point back here. One of those days, every single bite I've had today, which is not a ton, but enough to keep you interested in doing it, has been in buckbrush. I have not had a bite off a willow tree, a cypress tree, or spider bush, aka a water elm. Every one of them been off buckbrush. You know what, while we've got a nice quiet place to fish, I get a lot of good questions from my guys through email, kensmithfishing@outlook.com. And I got a question yesterday, and the question was, why do I go one day where I'm pitching a Cinco around bushes and the next day I'm flipping over in the bushes? And it's a real simple answer, it's watercolor. Where I'm fishing up here today, you can see, I'm looking at my power poles, there might be 8 or 10 inches of water visibility, so yay much. And the bushes are only maybe, I'm gonna say that bush is 3.5, 4 feet deep. But because the water is so off color, I feel like I can flip on those fish, so I can flip over in those bushes. When I was back down mid-lake and actually further south yesterday, you saw me pitching that Cinco around those bushes. Well, the problem is, in a lot of those bushes, I could see bottom, or I could see bottom right behind them. So in my mind, there's probably not a lot of fish in those bushes. Those fish are probably more scattered out between the bushes and the inside grass line or in the hay grass. So that's why I'm pitching up there as opposed to getting up there and flipping those bushes. So that's what I'm doing, and that's why there's a difference there. Hope that helps, guys. Good question. Okay, so again, I've talked about it some during the video. My rod of choice in this case is that Magnum jig rod. It's a luge rod. I put a link below. I'm fishing a 7-1 fast retrieve reel, using 50-pound Cigar Smackdown line, and on a 5/8 ounce sinker. My elbow's just been killing me from flipping, so I dropped down to a 5/8 ounce, which is still heavy enough because there's not a lot of organic stuff up shallow. There's not a lot of hyacinth or giant Salvania in the area I was fishing. So just flipping wood at 5/8 ounces, plenty. Flipping a prawn,
mostly in the green with blue color. I think I said it, but if not, a 3/0 EWG hook, and that's my setup with that 50-pound cigar. After I broke that fish off earlier in the week, flipping an old 30-pound braid from another maker, I spooled up the good stuff. Matter of fact, I'm gonna spool up some more tonight. So that's my report. I've got another report I'll probably get up. Well, I'll get it up for you guys Tuesday morning of another one of those just catching the crud out of them. Not any big fish, but just catching the crud out of them that I think y'all enjoy. So thanks for tuning in, and if you see me on the water, keep your distance, but please say hi. I have had a couple of guys where I've said, man, I'm not trying to be weird, but let's keep our distance. And everybody's been super respectful of it, and I'm certainly, I'd like to get back to work as soon as I can, but we're making the best of the situation right now, as I know all the rest of you are too. So thanks for tuning in. We will catch you guys again here in the next couple of days. Thanks, guys.